Next on Worcester News tonight, the Pawtucket Red Sox are coming to Worcester, and the team hopes businesses and residents from other big cities will come too, how they are marketing Worcester. Plus, a push for more funding for public school sports. One city councilor says after-school activities help keep kids safe and off the streets. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemon. A beautiful day across central Massachusetts today with sunshine and warmer temperatures, but it doesn't look like the sun will last much longer. Let's send it over to meteorologist Pamela Gardner for a first look at our local forecast.
Hey, good evening. What a great start to the work week, but we will start to see an unsettled weather pattern take over overnight tonight and through the rest of the work week. For the rest of this evening, our temperatures fall back into the 60s after we enjoyed high temperatures in the low 70s across Worcester County. Overnight tonight will be right around 62 degrees for that low, 57 in Keene, 66 in Boston, some 50s to the north, but warmer temperatures farther to the south. We have some clouds rolling into the picture that will continue to spread and thicken from southwest to northeast later today. That's going to trap in some of the daytime heat that we accumulated, keeping our temperatures fairly steady for much of the night and quite comfortable through this evening. But our overnight forecast will be rather muggy too. And after midnight, there's a chance for a sprinkle or spot shower. Some scattered showers roll into the forecast for later Tuesday morning and afternoon. The unsettled pattern will bring us lots of heavy rain potential by the end of the week. I'll have all the timing and totals in your exclusive 10-day.
All right, thank you, Pamela. The Pawtucket Red Sox still have almost 2 years before they start playing ball in the city, but the team is already working on bringing a bigger presence to downtown Worcester. They have several partnerships with businesses and say their goal is to get more people to realize Worcester is a place to live, work, and play.
2 years before they move here, the Pawtucket Red Sox are doing their part to market Worcester as a place to do business. The Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce says the amount of money the ball club is investing in the city is leading to substantial growth.
Almost $250 million in economic development that's going to touch the construction industry, retail, housing. It's going to put hundreds of people to work.
President Tim Murray says Worcester is competing with Boston, but Worcester's partnership with the AAA affiliate to the Red Sox will only strengthen the two cities' relationship.
We see this as kind of a multiplier. And there's an intangible value to this as well in terms of marketing and getting the word out about Worcester. So we think it's going to be a plus.
Fallon Health is a founding partner of the Worcester Red Sox. The health insurance company will have a presence in Polar Park. Chief Communications Officer Christine Cassidy says the team cares about the city.
I think it's incredible. I think we all are in the middle of experiencing this wonderful transformation for the city of Worcester. And the team, I think, has just really helped to accelerate that and gain even more excitement for what's going on in Worcester.
Wormtown Brewery is also a founding partner. They say Worcester is going to be at the same level as Boston.
A destination spot. And like I said, growing up here, I think it's amazing to see it finally happening. Restaurants, the stadium in general, what they're building inside of it. I mean, I think we're on par, and I think a lot of great people are coming here now because it's more affordable.
Murray says new businesses are reaching out to the chamber, and the Red Sox are already producing some new potential wins for Worcester.
Based upon the inquiries that we have gotten and continue to get, that you're going to see further economic development in concentric circles around the ballpark district, which is exactly what we hope for.
Construction for the ballpark is set to begin within the next few weeks. Live in the Canal District, Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
We are on verdict watch in the so-called Blackstone House of Horrors murder trial. There's no jury in the case, so the judge is weighing the fate of Erika Murray. After 8 days of testimony, the defense and prosecution made their closing arguments on Friday. Prosecutors argue Murray should be convicted of second-degree murder. Police found 3 dead infants in her trash-infested Blackstone home in 2014. The defense argues Murray is mentally ill. A 71-year-old woman is listed in critical condition. Police say she was hit by a vehicle on Main Street. The crash happened in the area of 987 Main Street around 8:45 Saturday night. The victim suffered serious injuries to her head and leg. Police say it appears she was trying to cross the street when she was hit. The driver did remain on scene. No charges have been filed at this time. Police in Rhode Island say a Worcester woman who flipped her car onto its roof after hitting a home identified herself to officers as fictional cartoon character. Police say 25-year-old Karina Dominguez Martinez was charged with driving under the influence and resisting arrest on Saturday. Officers say she identified herself as Hello Kitty. Police say they found open bottles of sangria in the car. Dominguez Martinez is expected in court on Wednesday. School districts across the state are pushing for more state funding, and the Worcester Public Schools are no different. In a letter to the City Council, Superintendent Maureen Benenda says if a lack of funding continues, more sports teams may need to be cut. Many are hoping things will change because they say sports help keep kids safe. Our Roslyn Flaherty joins us live now with more. Roslyn.
Olivia, the school district says there will be no freshman sports next year if they can't come up with the funding, and a Worcester Public School alumni says that would be terrible. Cassius Archer played soccer and basketball while attending Sullivan Middle School and South High School in Worcester.
I don't know where I would have been if it wasn't for sports.
He now plays soccer at Worcester State University and says cutting athletic programs in the Worcester Public Schools would be devastating.
It will actually destroy some other people.
Superintendent Maureen Benenda sent a letter to the City Council last week saying the district will not fund freshman sports for the 2019-2020 school year. In the letter, she says the current budget provides $70,000 for middle school sports. The letter goes on to say if the Senate version of the school budget is passed, the district will allocate an additional $130,000 from those funds to be used for freshman and middle school sports.
Looking at sports, looking at extracurricular activities, it keeps kids engaged.
City Councilor Christian King has been a big advocate for school sports. He says the administration and the City Council are aware of the need. He says the City Council supports allocating $100,000 of additional funds to middle schools and an additional $30,000 when the funds become available to a freshman sports program.
Research that shows kids who are beset with certain challenges, if it's attention deficit, if it's hyperactivity, if it's difficulty with kind of arranging their thoughts, that structured sports can make an impact on that.
The Worcester District Attorney's Office says they gave $22,000 to help keep freshman boys and girls basketball going last year. Archer agrees the programs help keep kids safe.
Most of the friends that I had, most of them made really bad decisions in school, but because of sports, it got them staying after school, being involved in school.
Now, King says he's hopeful the school committee will make sure that's a priority and get the funding. Olivia.
All right, Roslyn, thank you for that. A landmark mansion in Millbury is registered on the National and State Registers of Historic Places. The town owns the building and has plans to audit it to try to make it profitable. Right now, the town does not provide the mansion funding for a budget. Voters recently approved transferring $50,000 to a revolving account for the historic site. It was in the red and has run a deficit for years.
It is the jewel of Millbury. It's a crown jewel. It's a focal point during our Chain of Lights event. It's absolutely not going to be sold. It will continue to be the focal point of Millbury and used for all of Millbury's functions as well as outside functions.
And the mansion's director does have plans to leave the job soon, but says he will stay to help facilitate the audit. Right now, testimony still ongoing at the State House as the national debate on abortion hit Beacon Hill today. At stake is the so-called Roe Act, which would loosen the laws on certain late-term abortions, as well as ease restrictions on teens seeking to terminate pregnancies. Susan Tran has the latest.
The national abortion debate taking center stage at the State House.
The freedom with which abortion is being practiced in America has gone berserk. It's a mock.
Outside anti-abortion activists who see new legislation being called the Roe Act as dangerously expanding late-term abortions.
Common sense is being lost. I really think that this bill just goes way too far, and it's very radical, beyond what even liberal Massachusetts wants.
Inside,
a court's guarantee is not a guarantee in these times.
pro-abortion rights activists say this is about guaranteeing health care to a very small group of people, families who find out after 24 weeks their child has a deadly birth defect.
We are trying to create a compassionate situation on the late end for a very small number of families who receive a diagnosis that is absolutely impossible to wrap your head around.
The two sides finding their way into the Joint Judiciary Committee hearing, hoping lawmakers will keep their views in mind.
With several dozen signed up on both sides to testify, legislative aides here say that this hearing could go on until midnight. At the State House, Susan Tran, Worcester News Tonight.
A 10th suspect in the David Ortiz shooting is expected to face a judge today in the Dominican Republic. His initial court appearance comes as Ortiz continues to recover from what police have called a coordinated attack. Ortiz was shot earlier this month while at a club in his native Dominican Republic. The alleged shooter is among those in custody. Last week, he claimed Ortiz was not his intended target. Police have not released a possible motive in the attack. The measles outbreak in the U.S. continues to grow. According to the latest data from the CDC, there are now more than 1,000 cases in 28 states. It's an increase of 22 cases from the previous week. Most of the cases are in New York, where the majority of the patients were not vaccinated. This continues to be the worst outbreak in the country since 1992, but doctors in central Massachusetts are still urging people to get vaccinations as soon as they can.
And it's unfortunate that a country as developed as ours, where we have access to care and to vaccines, that we are seeing such an outbreak of infection is really sad, because usually we see this in poorer countries in the world who cannot afford vaccine.
And Dr. Abraham says Massachusetts has a 98% or higher vaccination rate, so the risk of an outbreak here is lower, but precautions still need to be taken. The Regional Environmental Council kicks off their community farmers market today with stands at the Worcester Youth Center. The REC Farmers Market at the Youth Center runs Mondays and Fridays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. The council will also operate other locations throughout the city 5 days a week. The markets offer activities including free lunch for children.
As the season goes on, there will be more variety of produce and things like that. And it's just great for people to get out. It's good for community relations, and it's good, obviously for nutritional reasons.
And the REC also has a mobile market which operates at 14 stops around the city.